Good evening, Dharma friends. Welcome back. You are joining for Monday BME Sutta study, day 46, July 29, and today we will be discussing the second day of the new sutta, which we started off last Monday. The sutta's name is Pathamasamajivi Sutta, as you can see here. Pathamasamajivi Sutta. Pathama is first, Samajivi is the same in living. That means living together. If if there is a situation that two people want to stay together, I would say a couple. That a couple is learning how to stay together from this sutta. There is a misconception that many people think that Buddhism is onto relationships. But this sutta clearly says that Buddha even gave the blessings to this couple for their next life because they wanted to stay together, not only in this life but also in the next life. It's a very interesting sutta because normally when you listen to sutta studies, you often hear the word called let go, what you call renounce, let go. But here we are going to say Buddhism is not only about letting go. Yes, we will have to let go. But that letting go is not just a renouncing from all the pleasures. You let go while experiencing your sensual pleasures. Okay? Otherwise, someone who has nothing is the happiest person in the world. It is not the happiness. You are having things based on your blessings, but you know how to look at your blessings. Right? So let's take a look at the notes which I shared for last Monday, which I shared recently, actually, yesterday. Okay, so this is the format that I normally share. Day 45, that means for last Monday, notes. Pathamasamajivi Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 4.55. And you can see the Pathamasamajivi Sutta outlines how a loving couple can be reborn in the next life together. Okay, that means Buddha recommends that it is possible. But there is a context. Given how the Buddha discusses the loving relationship in the next life, it provides many insights into how we should think about the Buddhist concept of a loving partnership. Now we have to understand under which context Buddha talks about a loving relationship that should go to the next life. I have put some questions over here. Why did the Buddha agree to a sansaric loving relationship? We have to find it out. Why did he agree for this thing? Is a sansaric relationship essential for a couple? How does this relate to the main Buddhist concept? I think this is very interesting to study. Sometimes you may have heard some people are making statements like, you were an enemy in my previous life. The all opposite of this question. So enemy, you were my enemy, now you became my wife or girlfriend or husband in this life because you want to trouble me, you want to attack me, right? So that means our relationships go back to many past lives. There is a connection. So why not we have a very interesting, very caring relationship in the past life? Maybe we cannot change. But if we had been together with somebody in that long past lives, when it comes to this life, our life with that person can become a better one, right? So you may have two ideas. One is that maybe the person who is really giving me a hard time in my relationship could be a person coming from a enemy version of my previous life. Or the person who is giving me a really hard time may be somebody I have never met in my samsaric life. So that's why I have to struggle to be with this person. Both can happen, right? Sometimes when you don't know people a lot, you have to keep up with that person, understand that person more and more. So there may be two projections. Probably the person who is giving me a really hard time could be an enemy in my past life. One to think that I want to be your boyfriend, I want to be your husband, wife, girlfriend, so that I can take revenge from. I can do a lot of bad things to you. Because when you are together, you can't do that much. Or this could be somebody who is coming to you anew, you haven't met in your life, previous life. Anyways, Buddha says it is very essential that you to have a sansaric relationship with your better half. You can't change it, you can't make it, but if you have had it in past lives, it's a very lucky thing, it's a very blessed thing. So because then you know that person. And you feel that the relationship, all the emotions that you are nourishing, you are sharing, you are investing in the relationship seem not new actually. You feel that they must have happened in a previous. I can feel you maybe more than this life. That means there must have something. In English they call soulmates. But this is how we understand from the Buddhist point of view. If that encounter was to happen in your past life, then this could have been a better way to look at how necessary it is to have this kind of thing. How does it relate to the main Buddhist concepts? We can pick up the example of Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, as a layperson, Prince Siddhartha, right? So the Buddha and then Yashodhara, Prince Siddhartha and Princess Yashodhara, they have been together for, at the very least, for 500 lifetimes. If relationship, partnership is not important, that kind of spending time for 500 lifetimes was not a necessary thing. So it's important. The importance of being together with somebody, with the right person, is that it helps you, or that person can help you to stay onto the practice. Right? Now you might understand, I'm not trying to say anything about being single. Let's say someone is single and no problem to get along with anybody, earn money and do things and stay alone. But when you are with someone, you have to listen to that person. You have to care that person. You have to understand that person. Maybe you have to practice all the Brahma Viharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka, compassion, loving kindness, altruistic joy, equanimity with that person. Because there's somebody in your house, somebody in your life. So probably it doesn't mean that being single is not nice. When you are with someone, that you will have to, by default, choicelessly, you have to become a better person in a way. It could be the opposite too. But it is important in the spiritual life, as we understand from Prince Siddhartha and Princess Yashodhara, and their time together had helped them to become better individuals in terms of the paramitas. Is sansaric relationship necessary for a Buddhist to attain Nibbana? Is a sansaric relationship with somebody necessary for a Buddhist to attain Nibbana? This thing can be taken in two ways. One is whether I have or you have practiced paramita in your past lives. Sansaric relationship. On the other hand, is being with somebody in the long past necessary for someone to work really good on the spiritual practice? So we can see this in two ways. Yes, it is very necessary. That's why there are a lot of people who are listening a lot of Dhamma talks, trying to learn a lot of Dhamma things, but they don't feel that there is anything working within their heart. They always fill up their heads with a lot of Dhamma. But when it comes to the heart, that Dhamma has not gone to the heart. Why is it? It is still stuck in the head. It doesn't go to the heart because time-wise, past life-wise, they have not been practicing this for that long. So don't pick on anybody, whether the Dharma talk is good, the speaker is not nice or not, whether you can follow that person or not. Probably this could be your own problem. This could be your lack of time engagement in terms of the Dharma teachings in the long past. Right? So we need this relationship. We need this past engagement with the Dharma activities. So it's a relationship. So it's a loving relationship. That means if you with somebody in that long past, it could have been a better one in this life. How does a sansaric relationship help someone understand life and attain Nibbana? That's an interesting question. Now, even we take Nakulamata, Nakulapita's story. Nakulamata, Nakulapita were together almost 500 lifetimes before this life. And we understand not only that they were together for 500 lifetimes, but also they were the parents of Shakyamuni Buddha for 500 lifetimes. Interesting, right? So they are not a new couple. They are Buddha's mother and father. But when you look at their sansaric life for 500 lifetimes, they were together and they have been practicing together. They were true Kalyana Mitras. Now they have already become Sotapanas. So they have been existing as a loving couple for 500 lifetimes because of their Kalyana Mitra friendship, and that helped them to grow in their practice. So it is very essential for a couple. What role does Prince Siddhartha's loving relationship with Yashodhara have in his practice of perfection's paramita as a bodhisattva? We understand that it is a huge amount of connection to Prince Siddhartha's bodhisattva practice, because she has been really helping out for the practice. What if the Buddha did not have someone like Yashodhara, and was he able to carry out his bodhisattva practice alone? Perhaps not, because there should be someone who can understand him very well. Now, what if in the last life Princess Yashodhara was to give a very hard time on the Buddha? You can't do that, you must be at home, right? And what if she becomes a little bit challenging to the Buddha's activities? At that point, he may not be able to leave the house, carry out his path. Right? So that means it is definitely a help for Prince Siddhartha to carry out his paramitas and then to fulfill his bodhisattva activities in his last lifetime. Why do so many teachings in today's world devalue loving relationships regarding Nibbana? They are not the Buddha's teachings. Mostly they are attributed to the Buddha. There are a lot of so-called Buddhist teachings given in some books. They are attributed to Buddha. If they are from the Buddha, you must give the reference to that statement. So it is not something that is coming from the text from Buddhism. It is because some people, they are having their own opinions about the text. In my understanding, what's happening to many people is that when they want to learn some suttas, they learn very, deep suttas in the first place, very deep one. When they learn number of very deep suttas that were given to monks, not for the lay people, then what is happening is that they think, this is what all these suttas talk about. We have to do this, that. But if you learn under a qualified teacher who has an expertise, who has read widely, across the text. That teacher can explain to you, yes, there are some deep teachings for the monks initially, and there are teachings for the lay people like you. So you have to learn from the lay people stuff first, and then go to those high-ended teachings later on. But what if someone is always saying, you can't have relationships, you must let go of everything? Did the Buddha say something like that? Buddha hasn't said like that. Buddha only taught these things to monks. Yes, monks have to practice that way. But for the lay people, they have to understand the teachings of the Buddha given for lay people. So that's why this underestimation, devaluing about the relationship has happened from not reading the text widely. Okay, that is the reason. Otherwise, the Buddha has never said things like that. Finally, what is the connection between the Pathamasamajivi Sutta and other mainstream suttas? Are there any additional suttas that address similar facets of a relationship? Yes, there are many suttas like that. In one sutta, Buddha talks about very interesting simile. Buddha says there are 4 types of couples. He uses, what is the word he uses? He uses a good man, husband, as a deva, and a bad husband is a dead body of a male person, chava. And a good wife or a girlfriend is a female deva, and a bad one is called dead body of a female. Female, I would say, yaka. He uses. He says, Devo Chavaya Sadding Sanvasati. A deva is living with a dead body, a yakini dead body. And then a female deva is living with a yakha. And then a deva, male deva, is living with the female deva. That's a good relationship. And a male yakha, a dead yakha, is living with the female dead yakini, which Buddha did not. So there are many teachings about relationships, how the relationship should be invested, how they should be maintained, started off, and all that. So there are many. But unfortunately, our lay people don't get exposure to those texts. Why is it? Because they always learn from those high-ended suttas, and they think that that is only the Buddhism. If we don't look at Buddha's ideas about these aspects, then we are insulting those suttas because we don't know what he talked about. Right? So I encourage, probably I can send you those, some of the suttas if I have time under the blog, probably the WhatsApp group for you to take a look. All right, so that is the last Monday. This is what we've been discussing last Monday. Now let's go to the text for today. Now we understand Nakulamata and Nakulapita, they were living in a house, and what happened? The Buddha went to their house, and now they respected the Buddha, and they sat down. Now Nakulapita is talking to the Buddha. How he talks? Yato me Bhante Nakulamata Gahapatani Daharaseva Dahara Anita. Bhante means the Venerable Sir. Nakulamata Gahapatani. Gahapatani means, Gaha means, what does Gaha mean? Gaha. Gaha. Gaha means house. Gaha means house. Patani means holder. Female holder of a house. That means the house that Nakulamata and Nakulapita owned, it was not only owned by the man, Nakulapita, it was co-owned by the both. Bhante, Nakulamata, Gahapatani. This householder Nakulamata, Dahara Seva, Dahara Anita. That means Dahara Seva. That means Dharaseva means when I was young and she was also young, I was able to bring her to my house. As you can see, Bhante says I was young when the young girl Nakulamata was given to me in marriage. But Nabijana, I don't know. Nabijana means I don't know. Nakulamataram Gahapatani. I don't know. Manasapi Aticarita. I don't know even a time that I have cheated. I have cheated on Nakulamata, even in a thought. Manasapi. Manasapi means in a thought. Aticharita means cheated. That means ever since I brought Nakulamata to my house, I have not cheated on her even in a thought. Even in a thought. Kuto panakain. What about my body? Kuto pan. Kuto means what about? Kain. Manasapi means in a thought. Aticharita means cheated. Charita. Charita means not cheating. Means stable. But ati means you have behaved beyond the proper staying with that person. I have never, ever since I have brought her into my house after the marriage, I have never cheated on her even in a thought. What about the body? So now initially, what could be your observation when you hear this? This man should be a very good man, not even a good man, an ideal man. In a time that we are talking about many people claiming that, you know what, a lot of temptations happening, I'm going to blame the gadgets, I'm going to blame the society, I'm going to blame independent people, I'm going to blame the modern people's mindset. There are different conditions that have come by today, right? A lot of people, what they do is that they blame other people, they blame the other conditions. We Buddhists are not supposed to blame the conditions, isn't it? We are not supposed to blame the condition, social conditions, right? We are rather understanding the conditions and practice Buddhism based on the conditions, right? Now, say for instance, the Vassa time. Now the monks took Vassa, right? Last weekend. Why was the Vassa laid down by the Buddha? It is because it was not the Buddha's interest that he wanted to lay down Vassa. It was the people's interest, because people were telling the Buddha, Bhante, you know, you look at James, Nigantanatha Buddha's followers. Nigantanatha Buddha's followers, they are not traveling during this time. They are just staying in one place. Why? Because at that time, there was no transportation like today. They had to travel on foot. Not even wearing slippers, footwear. So there were no asphalted roads at that time. So they had to walk on the new grass. And then people blame Nigantanatha Buddha's followers. You can't do that. At least you have to let the new grass, grow. You better stay in one place. Just stay in one place for the 3 months so that you can concentrate on the devotees in that place. And when the people saw that Buddha's followers also just go here and there during the Vassa time, they put the same blame on. Why are you not patient about your devotees? You just stay in one place. That was the condition. And the Buddha said, yes, I understand that. Then from that day onwards, monks had to take Vassa. But before that time, monks were just going everywhere during the July, August, September time. There was no Vassa. There was no Vassa. That was the time. It was not in the best interest of the Buddha. It was the interest about the people. But now conditions have changed. Now monks are not traveling on foot unless you go for a pinta path for a certain route. They are traveling by vehicles. They are traveling by flights. Conditions have changed. And the original idea for the Vassa is that after this was laid down, that monks are going to stay in one temple for 3 months. And then they are supposed to travel. They should not stay in one place. Why? They have to bring the Dharma message far and wide. Right? That was the purpose why they are going to one temple for 3 months, is that they have to spread the message. But now, it is not happening that way. They are staying the 3 months in the same temple, and they are going to stay the rest of the 9 months also in the same temple. So we are not blaming anybody. What we are saying is that conditions have changed. So if the conditions have changed, we have to practice Buddhism with those conditions. You can't bring the Indian 6 BCE conditions. So it is the same here. Now we understand that for those people who are saying cheating is possible, cheating is unavoidable, cheating is inevitable, here there is one man, Nakulapita, is saying that I haven't cheated on my wife even in a thought. What about my partner? Something to think about. Then, not even that, he's saying something else over there. Manasapi. Manasapi means even in a thought. Aticarita, not here we understand. Nabijana, I don't know. Even a moment in a thought, I have cheated on Aticarita on her. Kutopana, what about? Kutu is what about? With my body. Now he's telling the Buddha his plan. Ichayam Mayan. Bhante, I like. Mayan means we like. Ditte cheva dhamme anya manyang pasitu. Ditte cheva dhamme means in this life, just as we were together in this life, we were happily working together, living together, each other. And we also would like to see each other, anyamanya, each other, asitam. See, abhisamparaya, that means next life. Abhisamparaya means next life. Anyamanya, each other to see. Just as we saw each other and spend quite a long amount of time, we would like to see each other in the next life as well. Once again, Nakulapita is talking to the Buddha. He is saying, Bhante, I have not even had a thought to cheat on Nakulamata, my wife, even in a thought. What about body? Therefore, I would like to, just as how we have been together by seeing each other in happy ways, we would like to be reborn together to see each other in the next life. You can see here, Bhante, since I was young, when the young girl Nakulamata was given to me in marriage, I don't recall ever transgressing against cheating, even in a thought, much less by deed. What about body? We wish, Bhante, to see one another, not only in this present life, but also in future life. If somebody is going to say this to someone in a Buddhist community where there is no proper understanding about this sutta or these suttas, they will come up with a very heavy stand. The stand will be, hey, life is anicca, don't even think about it. What you are doing is that you are going against anicca dukkha anatta. Anicca dukkha anatta is, that concept is lying at a higher level. We understand that by understanding life, especially for a layperson. And this couple, they were sotapannas. They know they are dying. They will be reborn. Right? Having understood anicca dukkha anatta in the proper way, they have been together. Not that because of anicca dukkha anatta, they wanted to end the relationship, which you might say in today's world. Because of anicca dukkha, we have to stop, we have to do this. right? We have to go on a solo life, solo journey. We don't have to. Then what is the practice of Kalyana Mittas? Why do you need Kalyana Mittas, noble friends? Right? What if your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend become a Kalyana Mitta to you? What good can that bring? Right? So we will see what then Nakulamata said after this. Nakulamata ko gahapatani Bhagavantan etadabocha yatohang Bhante Nakulapituno gahapatis daharaseva dahara anita nabijanami Nakulapitaram gahapatin Manasapi Aticarita kuto panakaye Icheyama mayang Bhante ditte cheva dhamme anyamanyang pasitu abhisamparayan anyamanyang pasitu. Same thing. This is the same statement which was said by the Nakulapita. Nakulamata, even Nakulamata is to tell the Buddha, Yatoham Bhante. Ever since Nakula Pita took me, brought me to the house in marriage, Nabijanami Nakulapitarangahapatin Manasa. I have never, I don't know even a moment of time in a thought that I have cheated on Nakulapita. What about body? Therefore, we would like to, just as we were together in this life, happily, we would like to see each other in the next life. Now, what could be your perception about this couple? They are quite, relating to themselves in terms of what they think about it, right? Their perceptions about their life is very similar to each other, right? So both understand each other very well. There is no single saying that you don't understand, right? How many people in a relationship are to make that you still don't understand me, right? This is something interesting. We've been together for 10 years, but still you don't understand. You don't know my expressions. You have not looked at me in this particular context. But this is completely the pole opposite. Yes, I know you, you know me. And then not even in a secular point on. We have not cheated on each other, even in a thought. So now we have to think about how not to cheat on each other, even in a thought. How to do that? As a layperson, what is your level of temptations? Temptations can come to you anytime, right? So how to survive with the temptations? How to protect yourself? Right? Sense media, they are always coming to you. How to survive in those temptations? Are you thinking about salutation to Buddha, Namo Tassa Bhagavatu, Oitikso Bhagava? Oh, you are trying to understand what is this temptation. Actually, how it was possible for this couple not to cheat on each other because they were Sotapans. When you are in a relationship, say for instance you became Sotapannas, this ability not to cheat on each other become very strong, become very powerful, strong enough not to cheat on each other. And then there is another question: how come a Sotapanna person wants to be in a relationship? How? For what? If you are a Sotapanna, why don't you go to the rest of the enlightenment stages? Why are you still wanting to be together? But if you can see Vishaka, if you can see Kindivisal, if you can see many other individuals, including Nakulamata and Nakulapita, they had their own secular life. What makes them different from normal person about relationships? Vishaka, being a Sotapanna girl, when she was 7 years old. How come she still wanted to fall in love with a man? Why? And how it happened? It happened as usual, but when she was doing that, when she was going to that stage, when she has done it, she has minimized, she has decreased her sakkaya. That means their relationship works without a sakkaya. But what about our normal people, lay people's relationship? It is very high on the sakkaya. Sakkaya means, anybody, what is sakkaya? I have repeatedly told you the Dharma explanation about sakkaya. What is sakkaya? Sakkaya means upadana, grasping the 5 aggregates. When you are making 5 aggregates, a upadana, that is sakkaya. When you say ego, self-centeredness, personality conceit, you won't get it. The Buddha said, Sankittena panchupadanakkhandha dukkha. Now he was talking about the dukkha. At the end of the explanation, he still understands. If any of you didn't understand what I said earlier, jati dukkha, jara dukkha, vyadi dukkha, marana dukkha, abhye sampayogo dukkha, piye vipayogo dukkha, yam piccharma labati tampi dukkha, then sankirtena, in short, I would tell you, panchupadanakkhandha, dukkha arises primarily at a certain level. This is very interesting. The consistency of the dukkha is where it is at the place of a grasping on the 5 aggregates, rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara. If somebody is going to grasp, make any of the upadana, any of the panchakkhandha upadana, that is the sakkaya. How to say that in a layman language? Let's say vedana. Vedana means our feelings. We have happy feelings, unhappy feelings. We have upekka feelings. Upekka doesn't mean that upekka, okay? The Brahma Vihara upekka, it's not that upekka. Upekka feeling means neither happy nor unhappy. Like you say in your language, how are you? Okay la, right? Okay la. You say, I'm good or I'm bad. Okay la. What is okay la means? Not good, not bad. That kind of a feeling. Good, bad, that middle state, feeling wise. So it's not upekka, it's not that lofty upekka under the Brahma Vihara. So when you are going through any of these feelings, good, maybe good, bad, or maybe happy, unhappy, or maybe neutral feelings, what a lot of people doing is that they are bringing upadana to that feeling. Now say for instance, you are going through pain, physical pain or mental pain. Let's say you have a backache, you have a neck problem, you have a severe headache. Then what's going to happen is that you are thinking, my neck is painful now, in pain. And you are so unhappy about it. And then you don't want to accept the pain. You are telling yourself, why me? Why not other people? Why I have this kind of pain? So you are thinking, this pain is very unreasonable. This is unreasonable pain. If this pain is reasonable, everybody else should get the pain. But why me? You never come to a point, why not me? Why not me? Because when somebody gets a cancer, this is the often thinking, why me? Why I got the cancer? Why not my other friends? Why not others? But when you come to a certain understanding, why not me? I'm a universal person. Everybody is universal. Everybody can get a cancer anytime. So you embrace, accept that. But when the unhappiness feeling is arising, staying within us, we are in conflict with that unhappy feeling. And then what happened? Then we are creating an upadan. We are grasping, we are taking too heavily. We are taking that unhappy feeling too heavily. Then you are making the Vedana part upadan. What about sanya part? Rupa Vedana sanya. Sanya, let's say sanya kanda. How do you make it upadan? What is sanya? The third aggregate. Sanya means memory. In layman's language, memory. Are we always happy with our memories? Are we unhappy for the most part with our memories? Now, if you look at today, from today morning up until now, before you even come here, you might be having a lot of memories in your life. Maybe yesterday, maybe even before, things happen between you and other people. Are most of those memories very happy memories to you? Are they good memories to you? That's the question, right? So when the memories are coming, when they are appearing within your mindset, within you, you are naturally developing either a validation to the memories in a good way, or either a conflict kind of thinking, feeling towards those things, either a neutral feeling. Normally, a lot of memories that we are having are not very pleasant memories to us, right? They are mostly what if, should haves, could haves. Okay? What if I became like that? It should have happened this way. I could have done this way. Lot of, I think, partially regretful memories, regretful stuff. So let's say, can I stop my memories? I can't stop my memories. You can't stop either. So what are you supposed to do when the memories are coming? You have a choice whether you want to pick them up or not. But unfortunately, sadly speaking, when the memories are unfolding, then a lot of people, they don't know what to do. They just get stuck and they are just thinking why it happened, and then that was such a bad thing, right? And then you are bringing a certain upadana onto the memory. Sanya kanda become upadana. Sanya, we call it sanyupadana kanda. Sanya kanda is okay, aggregate on sanya. But now, because you are bringing upadana to the sanya kanda, that will be sanyupadana kanda. Sanya upadana kanda. I think we are talking a little bit more about this subject, so I just want to stop from this place. So we understand then at this point, as we discuss here, Manasapi Aticarita. That means if someone can really take care of one's 5 aggregates, then at that point you are so good. This is the same thing that happened to Vishaka. Same thing that happened to Nakulamata. Same thing that happened to Kimbimbisan. Same thing that happened to all the other people that we know in our Buddhist history. So, what we have to learn here is that even you are a normal person, you can become a Sotapanna, but still you can carry on your secular normal life. It doesn't affect you, because when you are becoming a Sotapanna, then let's say if you are prior to that, say you are a Sotapanna, you are processing all the things by understanding your 5 aggregates, because you don't want to make your 5 aggregates grasping kind of upadana. You keep your aggregates as aggregates, not aggregates make aggregates become upadana. That's what happened to all these, even to Nakulamata, Nakulapita. Okay, now Nakula Mata also said the same. So I want to share with you this very interesting thing. This is the only time we see in a Buddhist sutta where a couple were talking to the Buddha very boldly, in a very bold voice, that we have never cheated on each other. Now, normally in today's world, other people can estimate about other people just from outside. But what if that a couple is saying to each other that I have never cheated on you, so are you, and then that will be an ideal couple. And now both are asking the Buddha, is it possible? What was the Buddha's answer? Did the Buddha say, oh no, such a very dangerous thinking. You must stop thinking like this. Buddhas are not appearing every kappa. Buddhas are appearing very, very rare. You should not go to the samsara. Let's see what the Buddha said. Akankeyunche gahapatayo ubod janipatayo ditte cheva dhamme anyamanyang pasitum abhisamparayanch anyamanyang pasitum ubhova asu. Translate till this point. Akankeyunche gahapatayo. Gahapatayo means, you can see here, householders. Householders mean this house that they were living, they were owned by both of them. Householders, ubho jani patayo. Jani patayo. If both husband and wife, jani patayo. Now this English Pali word is very interesting. Jani. 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 And there's another word called janani. Let's learn this Pali words, jani and jani. Jani. Now this Pali word jani, it is a very ancient Pali word which is appearing in Sanskrit also. Janani means, now if you go to Nepal, in Nepal they use a very famous Sanskrit statement. Janani janma bhumischa sarvata viparkariyasi. My mother and the country I was born, they are higher than the heaven. Janani janma bhumischa swargata vikariyasi. Swarga means heaven. So Janani means mother. And here, the Pali word Jani. Jani means a couple. Jani means a couple. Jani patayo. Jani patayo. If both husband and wife wish to see one another not only in this present life but also in future life. Akankeyo, wish. Kahapatayo, households. Ubho jani patayo. Householders and both of you. Ditte cheva dhammi, in this life. Anyamanya pas. If you wish to stay together in this life, as well as abhisamparayanch, means next life. Anyamanya, each other, pasitum, to see each other. Ubhova asu, both of you must have 4 things. Both of you must have cultivated 4 qualities together. Now, what does the Buddha say? If you want to stay together, you must have cultivated 4 qualities. Right? So Buddha is very clear on this. Now, this is the Buddha's way of interacting with other people. Right? When Kisa Gautami brought her dead son to the Buddha, Kisa Gautami asked from the Buddha, Bhante, my son is dead. They say he is dead. They say, I don't believe he's dead. Can you regain his consciousness? Can you recover him? What did the Buddha say? You know what? This son is dead already. You bring this dead body to a cemetery nearby. Just bury or cremate this dead body. Life is anicca. Death is inevitable. Right? Life is uncertain. Death is inevitable. What are you doing with this dead body? Buddha never said that. What he did? Yes, I can recover him. She was very positive. See how the Buddha interacted with people. He was not disappointing people because he understood Kisa Gautami cannot understand Dharma if he give a Dharma talk. Because she is in distress. Her son passed away. You can't give a Dharma talk to someone who is suffering a lot. On one condition, you need to go to a house and then have some amount of mustard. But the house, you have to make sure the house has nobody who passed away in this particular household. There should be nobody passed away in the household. And if you can bring mustard from a house where there was no passed away, then I can recover your son. She was happily going to houses one by one. All of them were happy to give some mustard. But lastly, she asked the question, has anybody passed away in this household? They say, yeah, our mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, somebody passed away in this household. Okay, then I don't need this mustard. I'm going to give it back to you. So when she went to many houses, she understood that death is not a personal loss. It is not something that just happened to me and to my child. It is a universal phenomenon. And then she understood that by herself. And without bringing the dead body of the son back to the Buddha, she went to the cemetery and she buried or cremated that body. See how the Buddha is teaching people the Dhamma. It's not that you go to a temple and monk is giving the Dhamma talk, that everything will be okay after that. Right? So Buddha's way is that the Buddhist monk or whoever has to understand the person first and then to give a Dhamma talk. There may be other ways to approach. But nowadays, Dhamma talk, maybe this is very unique to the Buddha. Even when Patachara came to the Buddha, it was the same thing, right? Who is Patachara? Patachara was a lady whose husband passed away and whose one son was taken by a bird and the other son was were taken by the flood in the river. And on the same day, she came to hear that her mother, father also passed away in a fire in their house. Now, the whole inner world collapsed. So she doesn't know whether she wears any clothes because her inner world has collapsed. What if this happens to you? Everybody passed away on the same day within a couple of days nearby. What will happen to you? Would you have thought to listen to a Dhamma talk at that point? What will help you at that point? And she went to the temple, Jitwaram, and she was naked. And everybody was shocked. How come this kind of person coming to the temple? But Buddha said nothing. He was very patient. When she came near to the Buddha, he said only one sentence. Sister, be mindful. Although she was going through a lot of pain, this triggered something in her mind. And somebody threw some clothes to her, cover up. But the way how the Buddha handled these people, Anuttaro Purisadhamma Sarati quality. He was an incomparable teacher to tackle down and handle any human being. Right? So in the same way, how did the Buddha approach Nakulamata and Nakulapita? He said, yes, it is possible. You can be together in the next life, but you must have cultivated 4 qualities together in this life. Now let's see what are those 4 qualities. Samasaddha is number 1. Samasila, number 2. Samachaga, number 3. Samapannam. Okay, assuming that you must have cultivated these 4 qualities on each other. Te ditte cheva dhamme anyamanyam pasitun abhisamparayancha anyamanyam pasitun. You can see here. Householders, if both husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend wish to see one another not only in this present life, but also in future lives, they should have the same trust. That means, same trust means sama sattva. Then they should have the same virtuous behavior, sama sila. They should have the same generosity, that means samacha. They should have the same wisdom, or samapati. Then they will see one another not only in this life but also in future. Okay. Same. How do we understand this same? I would say equal, kind of equal trust, equal discipline, equal generosity, equal wisdom. Let's go to the Pali word here. Now, the first thing that a couple should cultivate in order for them to see one another next life is sama saddha. Sama means equal, saddha means trust. What is the trust? What is the trust relevant to a couple? Tell me. Normally you know the trust. Saddha. What is saddha to you? Believing in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Right? That is saddha, right? Unshaken, unwavering trust about the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Is that the saddha trust that a couple must have in here? It is not the trust relevant to a couple. This means equal trust on each other. Isn't this a problem to many people, many couples, many relationships? They say they know each other, but when the problems arise financially, socially, family-wise, then they understand there is something that we have not discovered in our life. Right? So the Buddha said that every couple must have had equal trust on each other. If the both do not have the equal trust, then you can't stop insecurities to come up. A lot of insecurities are coming up. When the insecurities are coming up, that means that house is going to be a mess. It's going to be a really, really bad mess. Why is it? Because insecurities. It's not about other people. Understanding each other is the most important thing in a relationship. But since conditions have changed today, we are more likely going on to a very self-centered, independent life inside the relationship, isn't it? Financially and, work-wise, socially, education-wise, everybody wants to be a little bit self-centered, even in a relationship. So you have to manage that mentality because the conditions to work on the equal trust. Trust is very, very important. Number 1 pillar. We will discuss more about that later. The second quality is that samasila. Now I want to mention something else here. Sometimes one has equal trust, either husband or wife. Other one does not have. Then it is also going to be a problem because it has to be a mutual trust. It has to be an equal trust. Right? The second quality is sama sila. What does sila mean? Sila, S, long I, L-A, sila. What is sila? Do you take sila every day? Yeah, when you go to the temple, when they give you 5%. Panatipata, Viramani, Adinadana, Kamisumichachara, Musavada, Surami. If you are on a 8% retreat, they give you 8%. If you are on a 10% retreat, they're gonna give you 10%. Is that the sila relevant to a couple? What is the sila for a couple? Not cheating on each other. Kamesu michachara, pretty much. Kamesu michachara. That means you are not misbehaving in your sensual pleasures. You are not going to be in the sexual misconduct. Buddha does not talk about the sexual behaviors here. I gave a talk long time ago here in this place about Kamisu Michachara. Most of the questions I got asked was different sexual behaviors, and did the Buddha approve them? I said, Buddha didn't know these behaviors. I said, what Kamisu Michachara means, you are not stepping over to the other person's relationship, right? Other person's dearly core relationship. So Samasila means both are not cheating each other, both are disciplining oneself all the time. So quite a lot of courage needed to do so. Samasila. And then Samachaga. Sama means equal. Chaga means, this word we have discussed a lot in our previous discussions, chaga. And I discussed with you two Pali words about this concept, dana and chaga. Now, dana means giving, which you do all the time, and chaga means giving up. Giving up. Okay, dana chaga. Sama chaga. Normally, Buddha uses the Pali word chaga for the dana activity. Because normally, dana, Leong Yen. Everybody can do dana. Even the politicians are doing the dana. But we don't know their ulterior motives. Isn't it? They are doing a lot of things. Just because you buy something and go and give it to someone, it doesn't mean that you are doing chaga. But you are doing dana. Giving. But dana is the activity that we know. But within that dana activity, there is something else must be present. Chaga quality must come to that dana activity. Chaga means you must give up. You should not have any strings attached to that giving. You must have giving up mentality. Would a politician do that with chaga or just with dana? There are good politicians in the world, but some corrupted ones, they must have some ulterior motives. And not even them. Sometimes other people are also giving gift to us with some ulterior motives. We don't know what is that, right? That's why when some people are receiving certain gift from other people, they are asking, what is this for? They're asking, why are you giving this to me? They cannot think about any connection between giving and receiving at that point, right? So, anyways, when you are doing a dana activity, please do it in the chaga way, dana with chaga. What is the chaga in terms of a couple, equal generosity? How is it going to be applicable to a couple? In order for a couple to maintain, sustain, survive at least in a relationship, what could be the most important thing other than the trust? Do you think that they have to compromise in their different ways to protect the relationship? Are they supposed to compromise? Or just he does his own way, I do my own way, and then let's go this way? Is any amount of compromising necessary for a relationship to survive, to go a little better? Yes, that compromising sacrifice, kind of a sacrifice. Nobody should be over-sacrificed. Nobody should suffer in a relationship. But only by discussing, talking to each other, they are having deep, very clear, very deep conversations each other. And they know how to go from here to the next level. So that's why I think one of the very biggest complaints we hear from many people when we hear some stories that, I've been doing this long and I've been sacrificing a lot. Then at the end, what happened? I understood that this person is a energy vampire, took all my energy. And then I was drained, exhausted. But because I've been really loving this person, I couldn't do anything. And then finally, I don't know what happened. That means when you are not understanding the sacrifice level, compromising level with each other, then you might be overdoing that activity. Other person might be taking that for granted. So that means samachara, both have to discuss. Not that one person has to sacrifice a lot. It shouldn't happen that way. Both have to sacrifice. In order to go there, both have to have a good, deep conversation about everything. Right? Otherwise, the lady in the house will become a house, just like a housemaid in the house. And somebody will be bringing money into the house as a breadwinner. Nobody should be like that. Nobody should be a maid in the house. Everybody should be valued, respected. So how does this situation arise? With an open, clear, deep conversation about their sacrifices, compromising. So definitely, samachara does not mean that both go to the Vihara and then offer dana and come back home. It's not samachara for a couple. Samachara means that both are generous, both are compromising, both are generous, both understand the value of sharing each other. Right? So this is very important. Sometimes we also get to understand that different people are different, right? Now, one of the very interesting things that we hear in many relationships that one person is not praising the other person enough. One person is stingy in praising the other person. Is praising from the right person important for you to maintain your relationship? You do a lot of good things, but you are never appreciated, right? Sometimes compromising is okay, but you are not appreciated. So if you hear from a traditional Dharma talk, no, don't worry, don't expect appreciation, don't expect thank you, just do your job, right? That's not our way. That's what we learn here. The Buddha says that both have to be equally generous. Give compliments at the right time. Do not superimpose. Do not flatter about what is happening, but give the proper compliments to the other person and keep the generosity. Maybe sometimes there are occasions where one is going to be generous, other person is going to stop the other person become generous. That means there are misunderstandings, right? So it's starting from compromising, then sacrificing levels up until other generous activities. So both are supposed to equally generous. Last quality is samapanya. Panya. Very interesting. Can you remember our last sutta discussion? Last sutta we discussed. What is the name of the last sutta we discussed? Pathakamma. What is it? Pathakamma Sutta. What is Pathakamma Sutta discussing about? Pathakamma Sutta discusses about how to manage your wealth management. There are we understand, Pathamasamajivi Sutta teaches us how a layperson can be wise. It is the same wisdom. Samapanya, what is the wisdom for a layperson? To overcome abhijja vyapada, to overcome abhijja visamulu. First one, abhijja visamulu. Second, overcome vyapada. Third, overcome tina and myth. Overcome uddacha and kukucha. Overcome vichikicha. The more you overcome these 5, the wiser you become. Now, as a couple, they both have to work on overcoming these 5 and then to improve the opposite. Abhijja means greed about what they have. Visamaloga means greed about what they don't have, what other people have. Vyapada means destroying thoughts of killing, destroying other people. Tinamida means laziness in terms of your mind, the thoughts and the mental factors. Then Uddacha Kukucha means restlessness and remorse. And Vichikicha means doubts. Now, as a couple, how are couples supposed to work on wisdom? They should always go beyond the knowledge. They have to plan well. They have to discuss each other. They have to finally overcome these 5 as much as they can. So they become very wise. They know what to do. They know how to proceed their mental level. They know how to proceed from their thoughts, their plans. Becoming wiser equally is also a quality for a couple. That is also very important. That's what it is said by Samapanya. Now, when you have Samasaddha, equal trust, when you have Samasila, equal discipline, when you have Samachaga, equal generosity, when you have Samapanya, equal wisdom, then you are guaranteed to be reborn together in the next life, to continue your spiritual journey until you attain Nibbana one day. All right, any questions?
Bhante, I have one question. I mean, a Sotapanna, they will be reborn 7 times, provided they are in the Kama Loka plane, you see. What happens is that if they are reborn in the Arupa Loka or in the Rupa Loka plane, so would they be together? If they are not be together, do they have to make an inspiration that they will be born in the Kama Loka plane so that, it's 7 times? Thank you, Bhante.
Nakulamata, Nakulapita, they are Sotapannas. So their journey to end the samsara is limited to 7 more life maximum. There is no 8 life for them. We don't know how many lives they have come after becoming Sotapannas. Probably they have already passed a couple of lifetimes before. Maybe this could be the first life. We don't know. So anyways, they are not taking a time to be reborn in the apayas, but they might be reborn in the Suddhavasa, pure abodes, pure lands, and they can become anagami over there. But normally, if you are not anagami, you cannot be reborn in the pure lands. So what we understand is that when you are a Sotapanna, within the 7 life of time, definitely they are going to become enlightened arahants. So they will not be going to the arupa lokas mostly. Unless they become anagami, they may be reborn in the pure lands, 5 pure lands, and then attain it. So what I understand is normally a Sotapanna is someone who becomes an arahant in the normal life as a human. This is what we normally understand. Unless that person is becoming an anagami person. Rest assured, they are already in the path, so they don't have to worry about it. They already become Sotapannas, 7 life maximum.
I'm just wonder why are they have been together for 500 lifetimes? Then only now become Sotapanna. So looks like it's so hard to become a Sotapanna. Even the Prince Siddhartha and Yasodhara, they have been together, according to what Bhante said, 500 lifetimes.
Yeah. Okay, very interesting. Now, we don't know in which life of this 500 lifetime they became Sota. We don't know. We assume it was this life. This particular life, they became Sota. Perhaps they became Sotapanna in a previous life. But we don't believe that because they were living in this place, Besakalavan, at the Buddha's time. So definitely they must have become Sotapanna in this life, the life that they are meeting the Buddha. Prince Siddhartha and Princess Yashodhara's case, they never wanted to become Sotapanna. They wanted to, especially Prince Siddhartha wanted to become a Buddha. And Yashodhara was supporting him. And she also didn't want to attain Nibbana before this happens. It's like, holding the breath. See, there are people who are going to die, but they are holding the breath till their loved ones come. It can happen sometimes. So they made their wishes openly. That's how Prince Siddhartha and Yashodhara, they wish in their own life, becoming an Arahant and then becoming the Buddha. Say, for instance, you are someone who wants to become a Bodhisattva, then you might not become an Arahant. Let's say you are making a wish with the Bodhicitta, you want to become a Samma Sambuddha one day. Then you might not become an Arahant because your purpose is to become a Samma Sambuddha. So this is what happened to Prince Siddhartha. But Nakulamata and Nakulapita, they didn't want to become Samma Sambuddhas. So they were reborn at the Buddha's time. And then, listening to Dharma talks, practicing, they became Sotapanna. So we believe that they became Sotapanna in this last life. In this life, during the Buddha's time. Any question about Pathamasamajivi Sutta and then wishing to be reborn in the next life? How did the Buddha handle the situation?
My question is on because of the four elements or four pieces that the couples to stay together have, right? So what if one of the partners are of different faith? Because the first one is Sama Sada. So if they have different faith, different belief, how does that work out?
There is no mention about to trust the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha here. So this is there is no problem to become differently religious. None of these qualities, they are not branded as Buddhist. Samasaddha means trusting each other with the least amount of insecurities. Samasila means not cheating on each other. Samachaga means having some relevant compromises and then sacrificing on each other, being generous. Samapanya means working on those 5 things. So you don't have to be a Buddhist probably. If you are a Buddhist, then there's no choice, you are following it. But if you are not a Buddhist, there's no problem. Even for a different person other than Buddhist faith is going to practice it. So this is not a Buddhist strategy. We call it a Buddhist strategy because they are mentioning. But there's no problem for a different believer to follow this thing, because then there should be a way to promote a Buddhist couple. Couple is a couple. They both want to survive in their relationship. So this is a common, very universal framework for a couple to maintain their life, relationship life, this life and next life.
This relationship need not necessarily be that of two different genders and husband and wife. What about the relationship between Arahant Sariputta and Mahamoggallana?
What you are asking, if I'm not mistaken, is that relationship here, relationship means a couple, not a spiritual relationship that is happening between 2 monks. So this is mainly about a heterosexual couple. So this is what we understand. Yes.
In other words, their future lives, they will always be that of different genders.
We don't know. We don't know. I mean, if it is going to be a heterosexual relationship, Nakulamata can become Nakulapita. Nakulapita can be Nakulamata. We never know. But if you take a look at the Yashodhara and Prince Siddhartha relationship, that was always heterosexual, the way how they were, how they met in the first life. Right? So probably it's like this, probably it might not be. There's a chance.
That's another question related to this. Like in the case of the Deva world, it's spontaneous. And yet we hear of a family kind of relationship. That there is, for example, Sakadeva Raja, and he's got his wife, and then there is a family where suddenly a Deva family has a son, you see. I find it difficult to relate because we in our human form, we always think of gender. Now in the case of the Deva world, we still attach this gender thing, but birth is spontaneous. So I think the aspect of relationship in a family context is important more from the aspect of family relationship in terms of like love and commitment and things like that. Can you please clarify that? Or is it this idea of family in the Deva world an interpretation that is based on our inability to understand relationship in a Deva world?
Yeah, you are right. I mean, we don't have a very high sense of understanding about the Deva, because they say only when you come to the second jhana, you can see the Deva. You must have second jhana, second absorption to see the Deva. Now, your question. Now, we understand when it comes to the Deva, they are not reborn from a mother. Right? They are reborn spontaneously. There is no mother-father relationship, just like in the hell. Right? In the hell is also having no mother-father connection. Even what about the Peta? Do Petas have mother-father relationship? No. Hells and heavens, they have no mother-father relationship. They are spontaneous. One is in a good way in the heavens, other one is not in the good way. So normally what is happening, as we understand, is that they are let's say there is a family. How do we call that there is a family of Deva? Let's say they are representing a mother, father, and then let's say a daughter and a son. So they are spontaneously reborn in a certain area where they are living. So then the mother is possessing the Deva son. You are my son and you are my daughter, and they are then existing together. But it is not that mother is giving birth to the Deva son or Deva daughter. So they are reborn. Sometimes I heard some Devas are reborn near their clothes, near the mother Deva, father Deva clothes. But they are not reborn as a normal way that we see in the human world. That's how they are calling that they have a family. I have a Deva son, Deva daughter, and as such. So that's how we have to understand it. Oh, I think that makes sense, right? Okay. Any other questions? If there are no questions at this point, then we are going to transfer the good karmas. Today we have been discussing about Pathamasamajivi Sutta's the main highlight. The main highlight of Pathamasamajivi Sutta is about how a loving couple can be reborn in the next life. And Buddha agreed to that idea. It is based on whether the couple have improved 4 things together: equal trust, samasaddha, then equal discipline, samasila, then equal generosity, samachaga, and equal wisdom, samapanya. So they are common things for anybody, any couple. You can't say that it's only Buddhist couple that is mentioned here. But a non-Buddhist couple cannot be a sotapanna. That is another problem, right? Then there is a problem. But if you say these are not only qualities to become better people in the next life, to see each other next life. Let's say for a non-Buddhist couple, these are very good to survive in their relationship in this life. But for a Buddhist couple, they are good to go to the next life because as a way of becoming Sota. And then next Monday, we are going to discuss the rest of the sutta. We are going to have a review of the sutta because there are a couple stanzas, as you can see here. These are mostly benefits, number 7, number 8, number 9. So we are going to go through that section next Monday. That's the end of our sutta discussion for today. Wishing you a good night, safe journey back home. We'll see you next Monday at the same time. Thank you.